All right. Get this shit going here. Let's get it situated. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing tonight, huh? Let myself talk here. Oh, we got a good show planned. We got a good show planned tonight. Just waiting for people to trickle on in, and then we are gonna get going. Where's everybody watching from tonight? I'll always love to hear where people are watching from. I think it's one of the coolest things ever. Like, where in the world are you watching from? So we got two topics that we want to cover tonight on the live stream. One, they're right over here. It's about dreaming bigger. Specifically, what would you do? What would you do in life if you knew you could not fail? It was impossible to fail. What would you do? And most people think career right away, but we're gonna touch on that. But it's not the end all be all. And then the second topic I want to talk to everybody about tonight is how to start over again when your battery is friggin' dead. You have no motivation. Like, how do you get going again? I know me personally, this time of year absolutely crushes me. Like, it fucking crushes me. It's way too dark, too early. Frankly, it's depressing. So I want to talk about things that have helped me get going when I have no motivation. And hopefully we get a conversation going and I hear from you guys what works for you. Because that's what this is all about. I want to know. I want to know. What is up? What is up? How you doing, man? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Isab? Forgive me. Where are you watching from tonight? Oh, I also want to react to a couple videos too. I have a couple videos saved that I think would be interesting for us to go over. Relocation? Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the Northeast, so we're all feeling it up here. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, like if you know, a change of pace for sure. A change of pace, change of scenery, kind of mix things up. Ireland, hell yeah. That's awesome. You know what's interesting? I get a lot of people from overseas that jump on the streams, and I think it's so cool. I get a lot of people from Germany, which is pretty cool. Oh, don't worry about my troubles. They're insignificant. They're insignificant. It's just hard to get going some days, you know what I mean? Kansas. All right. Nice. How's the weather in Kansas right now? Is it cold already? Like, cuz it gets cold in Kansas, right? Like the the Midwest kind of like messes with me a little bit. I'm like, okay, go down. Florida's warm. Maine is not. Where are we at in the middle? 1 a.m., huh? Yeah, I do. The overseas crowd is the I can't sleep crowd. That is for sure. Yeah, especially like later, like whenever the people from Germany hop on, it's like 3:45 in the morning or something like that, you know? So night owls for sure. Yeah, we've gotten some chill, that's for sure. And up here where I am, it's just starting to like sort of settle into that man, you like feel the urge to hibernate like in your bones, and it's so hard not to. It's so hard to still be productive and like get going still, and yeah. A lot of caffeine. My caffeine intake it goes up there. That's for sure. Oh man. So you can't sleep, huh? Or are you just a night owl in general? I bet a night owl in general. I'm a little bit of a night owl. I used to be more of a night owl. Yeah. Daylight savings time. Man. And what sucks is for a little while, I used to work a job that it was an overnight shift. And it was horrible when you would work the shift where the clocks would go back an hour and you would be looking at the clock, you know, and it would go, I can't remember if it clicks over at 2 or if it clicks over at 3, but it goes, you see the clock go brr, and then go back an hour, and you're like, oh my god, you know, it was the worst, especially at that time, like 2 or 3 in the morning on a night shift. You already want to go to sleep anyways, you know. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's like you're already starting to count the hours down, you know, and then the clock goes backwards. You're like, oh, fuck. Yep. So Kansas, you grow up in Kansas? I've never been to Kansas, actually. Yeah. I was working at a hospital, and it was torture. I can't imagine working the nightclubs, because it's one thing if you're partying and having drunk that late, you know, and staying out that late, but it's another thing if you're working around drunk people that late. I'm pretty sure like my patience would be zero at that point. Oh God, yeah. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Yeah, no, I totally don't think I would want to do that. Well, it's kind of funny because when I first went to college, I actually got a degree that was focused around entertainment management, and I thought that I actually wanted to like run like nightclubs and stuff like that. And then when I got a little older, of course, that was like prime college years, you know, so like partying and drinking and stuff was like my life, you know. And then like once I graduated and I hit like 25, I was like, I don't want to be out, you know, all hours of the night working nightclubs or whatever. And also I also realized like how it was going to be very difficult to like have like a serious relationship and be out till 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, with drunk people and stuff like that. Like it just was going to be very difficult. I heard Spain is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't actually been, I've been all over, like, you know, on cruises in the Caribbean and the tropics and stuff like that, but I have not actually gone across to Europe and beyond. And I think it would be pretty cool. It's on my list for sure. To be honest, the thing that's holding me back right now the most from a trip across the pond would be how bad the airlines are right now. Like when I was younger, I never, like, some people got like worried about flying and they were like, you know, nervous about flying. I never was nervous about flying because there was always statistically like hardly ever any plane crashes. And I know when a plane crashes, it's really bad. And sometimes a car crashes and everybody's fine, you know, but I don't know what the hell is going on with the airlines lately, but I feel like I really do not want to get on a plane. I feel like the wings are going to fall off or something. Like, I feel like the whole industry is just like held on like by duct tape, you know? And the idea of flying that far, that long anyways, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to like, just to sit on a plane that long would be very difficult. But with all the flights, delays, crashes, I'm like, I think I'm just going to wait for it to calm down a little bit. Thanks. You like the stream? I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We haven't even gotten into the stuff yet. This is just the chatting, you know, beforehand with everybody. So I appreciate that though. Yeah, for sure. But if I was to go across, so my girlfriend wants to go to Ireland. I think every girl wants to go to Ireland. That's like it's such a romanticized place, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to go there for sure. I'd like to go to Iceland and probably Spain, you know? But going even further, I'd love to go to like Thailand and Vietnam and stuff like that. But, you know, maybe one day. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's still safer than driving for sure. It's still safer than driving for sure, but something has changed with the number of like crashes, not even just like fatal crashes, but like, I don't know why, but on my phone, like I get these little notifications now about, I must have subscribed to something, but every time like there's some sort of like airline accident, I get like they send me the news article for it. So it'll be like, oh, 2 jets collided on the tarmac. And I'm like, what? How does that even happen? You know, like they're just going 5 miles an hour at each other and boop, you know, boop. Like you had a whole runway to watch each other like and avoid each other, you know? And then there was the helicopter thing, and then there's this UPS thing. It's crazy. So the live streams. So this is what I do with the live streams. The live streams have only been going for like maybe 2 months now, maybe 3 tops. And the way that I do it is I do these live streams every week, and then when I hit these talking segments, these ones right over here, or up here, I guess if you're on mobile, when I do those, I actually clip those into their own separate video that I then upload to the YouTube channel. So the live streams is a little bit new, but it's a way for me to interact with like my subscribers. I think, yeah, we're at like 5,600 subscribers right now. And then it's also a way for me to like get videos created. So like I create the video live and we chat about it. So it's kind of a fun experience. So you subscribe to aviation channels and still, yeah, I know. It is still massively safe. So yes, staffing issues. The other thing too that like is really annoying lately, and it goes into the whole staffing issue and stuff, is I have not had a flight. I think I have not had a flight in the last 3 years that has not had a delay. It's always been at least one delay going one way, and sometimes I miss my flight and all that stuff. So now, like, it kind of sketches me out. Like, say if I want to fly to Miami and take a cruise, well, I have to like plan a day of like a cushion, you know, in between when I get there and when the cruise leaves, just in case my flight gets canceled and, you know, I miss it and all that stuff. It's just, geez, you know. Oh, nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you subscribed. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, if you look on my channel, there's all sorts of stuff, like typically like motivational stuff, you know, stuff to help people get through things, you know. So, but mostly for men, like men's help type stuff. But I think I try to make it like general enough so that anybody can get something out of it, you know. So, all right, let's move on. What we're gonna do next is I want to react to at least one video that I have queued up here that I thought sounded interesting, and I haven't watched it. So we'll watch it, we'll chat about it, and then after that we'll go on from there. So let me kill this music. Temporarily kill the music. And let me switch the view. Boom, boom. All right, so this is by Chris Williamson. And the title of the video is "Where Are All the Good Men At?" And I hear this question all the time. It's something you see all over social media and stuff like that. So part of my channel is about talking to my audience, my like younger male audience, like what it is to be a good man. You know, it's like a pretty foundational point through all of my videos. And so trying to spread positivity, because I definitely could just go the negative route and go down the rabbit hole of, you know, the hate algorithm and like shit on women and stuff like that. But I'm really trying, even though that gets more engagement, I'm really trying not to do that. I'm trying to stay positive about things. So anyways, let's hit this video here and see what it's all about.
I wrote a pretty spicy article, I think. Is pop culture teaching women to choose emotionally unavailable men? Maybe. What's the weirdest propaganda that you feel like movies have tried to push on you in your lifetime? For me, I grew up with tons and tons of movies that kept saying that the worst thing a man could be is a grown-up. You'd see a love triangle of romances where the guy you're supposed to be rooting against, his only sin is that he's kind of normal. He's got a job and stuff.
Yeah.
But then some other guy, a bad boy, would come along, and it doesn't matter that he sleeps in his car. Or if both of the guys are financially stable, you're supposed to root for the one that is less emotionally stable, the one that's more childlike. Jason Pargin just broke my brain with this.
I don't know what he's going to say, but I definitely know what he's talking about. And I think like rom-coms in general have done a very big disservice to dating and the man-woman dynamic, mostly because when you watch rom-coms, it's like the female is sort of like a mess. Her life is chaotic and crazy and, you know, whatever. Like that's kind of her thing. And then the men in these rom-coms are worthless. Like they're dopey. They're not masculine at all. They're not even capable at all. They're like a shit show. And what ends up happening is like the female lead saves the male character because he's like completely incapable of doing anything himself. And then through that relationship, she gains happiness or whatever. But as a man or as a young boy, like you have no one to look up to because all of these shows make all these men seem like idiots. So let's see what he says.
Insight. I think it's so right. Like modern romance culture isn't just telling stories. It's shaping selection criteria across movies, media, even mainstream dating advice. Women are being subtly conditioned to seek out emotional unavailability and volatility as signs of desirability. And the result is a generation of women confusing conflict with compatibility and drama with depth and brokenness with mystery. Rather than choosing partners based on emotional maturity or shared values or long-term compatibility, many are drawn to conflict, aloofness, and unavailability.
Yes. I actually did a video about this like kind of early on, and I forget what it was called. The title, like the thumbnail is of the guy from Yellowstone. I think his character's name is like Rip, I think it is. And how Hollywood takes a male character like that and absolutely pushes them to be a sex symbol. And it's so twisted because if you wrote that man's characteristics down on a piece of paper, it would read like a felon's rap sheet, you know? Like they're trying to like warp, and I don't know why they're doing it. I have no idea why they're doing it, but they're trying to push this male character type on females, and they're like, this is sexy. This is what you want. This is what you want. And it's like the same kind of thing over and over again. The man is aloof and distant and doesn't share emotions and quick to anger, all these things. And for whatever reason, Hollywood just keeps pushing that character type, and it's so destructive because young men either grow up to be that guy or young women grow up to date that guy. And we all know that that guy is not meant for long-term relationships. It's just, it's toxic. It's chaotic.
It's the he's hard to love, but I can fix him fantasy, repackaged and repackaged
Chris,
in everything.
Nailed it.
From films to novels. In The Notebook, Ali chooses Noah, the poor, impulsive, deeply emotional man, over Lon, her secure and respectable fiancé. What's the conclusion?
The Notebook.
Stability is boring, and true love is obsessive, chaotic, and all-consuming.
I hate The Notebook.
In Titanic, the scene that makes you like Jack more than Rose's wealthy fiancé Cal is that, for fun, Cal just sits and has quiet conversations with his friends, whereas Jack has fun
Partying.
with big, loud parties. And the movie portrays this as him living more authentically
Yeah.
or living life to its fullest.
Uh-huh.
But really, he's just living like a teenager. He has nothing to offer Rose in terms of reliability or safety, yet this...
And on top of that, if we want to compare The Notebook and Titanic, I mean, both of those are like mega movies in the romance genre. I don't remember all the characters' names, but he just said them. So in the Notebook, this girl. So here's the thing that Hollywood also does. There's never any consequences for females doing this, right? So then it's like, okay. So she is engaged. She has an affair with Noah and goes back and forth. And basically she's choosing between money and stability and happiness, I guess. And Noah, both of the men are simps because the guy that gets cheated on should have been just like, all right, well, fuck you then. Like, go live with that guy. Like, I'm not going to take you back, right? But he's like, oh, please, just think about it. Think about it. Pick me. And then Noah's like, no, pick me. I'll build you a house. Then you'll pick me, right? And so she gets to go back and forth and play them both and then like choose what's best for her. But if we just rewind it, she cheated on her fiance and both those men should have been like, fuck you, I'm out. You know? Same thing with Titanic. Of course, you know, everybody died except the old lady or the woman. So again, she doesn't have to pay for any of the bad decisions, but she's engaged to the rich dude and cheats with Jack, the poor dude, down in the car, you know, the handprint on the window, right? Again, she cheats, but never has to pay any consequence for it. It's irritating.
Brief, fiery connection is portrayed as more authentic than anything she could have had with a professional fiancé. In Twilight, Edward Cullen is dangerous and obsessive and emotionally tortured, and that is precisely what makes him desirable. Bella's rejection of Jacob, who's warm and grounded, underscores the trope.
True. Socially, she would downgrade
Safe
in The Notebook by choosing Noah because he was a poor...
Beauty and the Beast.
No status
takes
guy.
it even further by literalizing the fantasy. Love turns rage and violence into virtue. Similarly, A Star is Born presents Ali's rise and Jackson Maine's spiral as tragically intertwined. Her love is deepened, not diminished, by how much he unravels. This is a twist on something called the Byronic hero. It's a literary archetype based on the persona of poet Lord Byron. He's usually emotionally isolated or unavailable. He's often morally ambiguous or anti-heroic. He's at odds with society or authority, possesses a tragic past or trauma, and women are often drawn to him despite his destructiveness. Even modern women's advice keeps repackaging difficult as passionate. Teen Vogue runs headlines like, "Super bad, why are smart girls drawn to bad boys?" The Sun gushes about why the sexiest stars go for the bad men. The takeaway is, if he's cold, complicated, or broken, he must be worth it. Safety is sterile.
Which is so untrue because as you hit a certain age, you realize that like you can't change people. You can't. You can't fix them. You can't change them. You can help them along the way, but like they already have to be on that journey, you know? And again, I think that like pushes a negative thing on dating where it's like women are like, okay, this guy is all these toxic traits, but maybe I'll be the one that he won't treat that way. And then it feeds validation. And they're like, well, if he's a jerk to everybody else, but he's nice to me, that must mean I'm really special. And in reality, it's like, if he treats you nice at first, it's because it's just at first. He's going to go back to his default programming, just like everybody else goes back to their default programming. That's why when you date somebody at first, you don't really know them until 3 to 6 months in, because most people can put on a show for 3 to 6 months, especially if you're only hanging out like on the weekends. You know what I mean? So that whole like looking past all these red flags because you think there's like this diamond in the rough, it's so counterproductive. Just find somebody who's like whole and balanced from the jump instead of having to like put in all this extra work, you know?
And suffering is sexy. There's a neuroscience trick being played on us all here, though. Things that are valuable are often hard to get, but just because something is hard to get does not mean it's valuable, which is why scarcity and unavailability are often mistaken for worth. Romance stories reward the woman who wins the affection of the aloof or emotionally damaged man.
The
harder he
vampire
is to access,
or werewolf,
the more meaningful
the
his
rich
eventual
werewolf
affection feels.
surgeon.
In reality, sure, perhaps there is a noble savage who can be saved by the right woman. But realistically, this just prioritizes partners who are not capable of commitment over ones who already are put together and ready to go.
Right. That's exactly what I was saying.
Typically, coyness isn't love. It's emotional immaturity masquerading as romantic spark. The problem is that intermittent reinforcement is the exact mechanism that drives addiction. You are not in love. You're hooked.
Chris is awesome.
Variable schedule
love
reward
Chris.
is the bullseye of dopamine. It's how slot machines work and why social media is so
I've been
compelling.
watching for a couple of years
Our
now.
brain says, if something is scarce, it must be more precious. And we take this economic dynamic into our love lives.
And Chris is the role model for young men, you know? Successful. I mean, like, you can't really do much about your looks, but he's successful. He's good looking. He's intelligent. He thinks about things. You know, he's got emotional depth to him. Like, this is who we want men to grow up as. Not Homer Simpson, not Rip from Yellowstone, not the freaking guy from The Walking Dead, Daryl. You know what I mean? Like, no, we want more Chris's in the world. That's what we want.
So if someone stops texting us or we feel like they're drifting, all of a sudden our brain says they must be important. If they say, here I am, I genuinely like you and very much want to commit, our brains respond with, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
If you treat me like crap and you're in and out of my life and you text me a bit and then you go cold and I don't hear from you, many people think they might be the one.
Yeah,
it is
so true.
No coincidence.
It's so
that
backwards.
so many modern relationships do not begin with mutual understanding, but with a chase. We have taught women to interpret emotional inconsistency as romantic tension.
Yeah.
To pursue the man who offers breadcrumbs of affection instead of consistent support. To believe that love is meant to be hard-earned, not freely given. And this has real consequences.
That's a good point. Like, you know, people are always like, love is hard. It's really not. It's really not. I've been in some bad relationships where it was hard. And then when you find the right relationship, it's the easiest thing in the world. I was actually talking to my sibling the other day about my current relationship, and I was like, it's so easy. Like, I literally can just be myself. Like, there can be silence and I'm not worried about like if she's bored and I have to entertain and like all these things. It's just like, it's just easy. When you're matched up properly and you're both like healed from your past bullshit, love can be one of the easiest things. And it's especially a red flag if love is hard in the beginning. Like, if you don't have a honeymoon phase in your relationship and it's just hard from the go, like, it's a wrong relationship, you know? Like, what are you doing?
Normalizes dysfunction. It rewires attraction around trauma. It sidelines healthy men and glorifies emotionally stunted ones. And it leaves women feeling like emotional burnout is the price that they have to pay for passion. Emotionally mature, transparently keen, and immediately available men
That's
are
interesting
ignored
that
in place
the
of someone
adrenaline you
who
think
amounts
is
to little more
top dog.
than an effective dopamine trigger. This is why
I could see
so
it.
many guys have so little sympathy for the "where are all of the good men at?" question.
Yeah.
Whether it's through painful personal experience or by being subliminally reminded of it in pop culture, men who are ready to commit are fearful of doing so because they've noticed that many women seem to like them more and soften up when they're mistreated and kept guessing. I saw this comment from a guy on Instagram, which encapsulates this perfectly. He said, "I'm trapped in a generation where I don't know whether to buy her flowers or ignore her to get her to like me." Men will do what women demand of them in order to get laid. Women set the standards for sex, and men meet them. There's this idea from Roy Baumeister. He says, although this might be considered an unflattering characterization, we have found no evidence to contradict the basic general principle that men will do whatever is required in order to obtain sex, and perhaps not a great deal more. One of us characterized this in previous work as, if women would stop sleeping with jerks, men would stop being jerks. If, in order to obtain sex, men must become pillars of the community, or lie, or amass riches by fair means or foul, or be romantic, or be funny, then men will do precisely that. So,
I agree with that to
similarly,
a certain degree.
if men need to be broken, flaky, non-committal, and inconsistent, they will meet these standards appropriately. Women's mate choices, modern romance culture, and girl magazines are not at fault for
What age do
emotionally
you think I am?
unavailable behavior in men.
I'm young at
They're not
heart.
totally unrelated to it either. What is needed is a clearer picture of healthy connection. Alain de Botton had this wonderful insight where he said, it can take a very long time indeed
Turning
for some of
43
us
next month.
to come to a highly basic sounding realization. We should only contemplate going out with people who are very enthusiastic about us from the start, without the need for persuasion, without any call for begging or chasing or strategic withholding of affection or visits to therapy, just plainly and simply keen, open, and ready.
I think that's really important. Like, and I think most people, you know, men and women, but I only know life from a man's perspective. And from a man's perspective, after a breakup, most men don't have the options to just like bounce into the next relationship. So oftentimes we are left to do some self-reflecting about why it ended. At least healthy men do this, you know? And I feel like women do it too, but it's also way easier for them to just throw up a thirst trap on Instagram and get a whole bunch of male validation. Now, whether they bounce to another relationship or just take the attention of those men, it's like, I feel like they don't have to lick their wounds the same way men do after a breakup. And in both cases, both sides should spend way more time reflecting on what they have going on and why the relationship didn't work out, and like what their role was in the failure of the relationship before moving on. So many people move on. And my last video was basically on how women tend to get like stuck on some guy from the past that didn't treat her right. And again, it's that it's not that it's not even the idea that she really loved him or liked him. He just made her feel really intense feelings. So it's the rush of the chemicals, oftentimes in those chaotic relationships. And women tend to feel emotions more strongly and more wide ranged and varied than men do. So that's not really like a trigger for us. We're not like, oh, she made me feel like, no, that's not it for us, but it is for women. And so I've known lots of women that have been stuck on an ex that treated them like absolute shit. And so much so that it affected their future relationships because they either were addicted to that rush of uncertainty and toxic, relationship dynamics. And it caused them to sort of like get bored with a actual healthy, full grown, balanced man. It ruined them. And I don't know if they even know it or not. And I don't know. I don't keep touch with all of them, but I hope that they went to therapy.
From the get-go, we may tolerate a prospective partner who tells us that they like us a lot, but that they will be only available to see us again in a month, or someone who casually mentions they are presently trying to decide between us and 3 other suitors, or a compelling career abroad, or someone who can never bring themselves to initiate sex or hold our hand in public. A bit deeper into our relationships, we may similarly not spot that
That's so funny you say that. Oops. It's so funny you say that because, so you say, just for people that can't see the chat, I have met a lot of men who told me that their ex was a psycho. I doubt, based on numbers, that they were all psychopaths. I do know guys who preferred thinking that way as a means to avoid thinking and like reflection. Yes, absolutely. But you know what the funny thing is? So men's version of that is, oh, my ex was crazy. She was a psycho. Women's version of that is he was manipulative, a narcissist with anger issues. I have heard that so many times. And it's like, yeah, sure. I'm sure some of them were, but you're right. Like statistically, not all exes can be psychos and not all exes can be narcissistic manipulators either, It's just what humans do, I guess, to not have to look inside, It's kind of crazy the how far we'll go to not do that.
It might be less than ideal to be trying to convince someone that they should go to therapy so that they'll finally see that they want us or that we are, in fact, just as much fun to spend Saturday evenings with as their friends are. To cut through the nonsense, we may be in need of a robust awakening. The only person we should for a moment ever contemplate being with is someone who, at the start of the journey, can already be at the table with a conviction to match our own.
Yeah, they're ready.
We can be forgiven for being, for a long time, deeply charmed by all the others, those who are coy and troubled, those who don't reply to our messages, and those whose difficult childhoods render them enchantingly off-kilter. But this is a game we can, in the end, ill afford. It is not love if you need to keep messaging and they rarely reply. It is not love if they are evasive or surreptitiously liking someone else's posts. It is not love if they get defensive
That's
or
exactly
describe
what it
your
is. Equal
legitimate
opportunity for
requirements
people
for
reluctant
attention
to own their own
as
shit.
too intense.
Yes.
We need
and it's just like
to get
both sides have
the wavering,
like buzzwords
defended
they use,
ones out of our lives immediately. And that will mean ejecting the majority of people that we meet. All the more reason to focus on the very few with native enthusiasm. We need to hone our skills at recognizing the keen ones and clear everyone else out of the way. Stop imagining that they might be shy or that you haven't made your intentions clear enough.
Shy.
Let's say it again for good measure. The only worthwhile lovers are ones who don't need persuading. Those who like us a lot already, those who never leave us wondering where they might be or when they might reply, those whose commitment to us
Yes.
flows so easily that all
People show us who they really are right from the get-go. They show us who they are and what they're all about, and so often we're so afraid of being alone that we try to interpret like everything in a different way. Like, oh, maybe they're just really busy, and that's why they only message me back at with one word answers, and only really want to talk to me at like 1:30 in the morning after last call for whatever reason. Maybe they're just a night owl. You know, it's like, no, people show you right from the beginning. You just have to believe them. And that's, I think it really comes down to like people are just afraid of being alone. Most people. And before you go find somebody else, you should really be okay alone. Then you're not just picking anybody. You can be selective. And then when somebody doesn't reply back to you, you're like, whatever, and you just move on, you know?
the focus can be on the difficulties of living day to day. The day-to-day of living life is tough enough already without the difficulty of convincing someone to commit to us in a way that we are already prepared to commit to them. The others may be fascinating, lovely looking, and about to change their mind in 15 and a half years, or after a trip to India, or capable of generating lots of late-night arguments and
old love
ideal for a
songs,
movie or a
I think Disney
psychoanalytic
did
case
a
study.
Bad job
They
at
are also just a plain waste
painting
of our precious time.
romance and stuff.
Is this everything wrong with the modern dating market? Obviously not. Is it a big part of it? I think so. Before we continue, I've been drinking AG1 every day for years, and now they've just released AG1
I'm not gonna
Next
skip
Gen,
his ad,
which is
'cause
a
that
more
would be
advanced, clinically
the dick
backed
thing to do
formula
as I'm
that
reacting
sets
to
a new
it,
standard.
so-
It's the same one-scoop ritual,
tried
but now it's
AG1,
supported
it's
by
pretty good.
4 clinical trials showing that it fills common nutrient gaps, improves key nutrient levels within 3 months, and boosts healthy bacteria by 10 times, even in healthy adults. Basically, they've upgraded the formula with better probiotics, more bioavailable nutrients, and clinical validation. They genuinely care about holistic health, which is why I've got my mum to take it, my dad to take it, tons of my friends as well. And why I put it
saying no
inside
to
my
someone
body
who's
every single day. And
good
if I
enough
found
is
anything
really hard,
better,
simply
I would
because
change.
we are hoping
but I haven't.
for our one.
That's why I
Yeah,
still use it. And if you're still unsure, they've got a
I've been
90-day
in
money-back guarantee.
one
so you
or
can buy
two
it and try it every
relationships
single
that
day
were like
for 3 months. If you don't like it, they will give you your money
95%
back.
there.
Right now, you can get a year's free supply. Vitamin D3,
just
K2,
that little bit was
AG1
missing.
travel packs, and that 90-day money-back guarantee by going to the link
And in the end,
description
that
below.
bit that
by
was
heading to
missing was really important to me,
drinkag1.com/modern
you know?
wisdom. That's
It was a deal breaker.
drinkag1.com/modern wisdom. Congratulations
All
for
right.
making it to the end of a clip. Your brain has not been fried.
Heck yeah. Sweet. Yeah, Chris is the man. And I agree with a lot of stuff that he was saying there. And I think like the modern dating, like thankfully I'm not having to deal with the dating scene, you know, now. In March it'll be like 2 years. So prior to that though, God, I got to dip my toe in that a little bit, and I don't want anything to do with it. But because I do this type of content, like my algorithm feeds me the most rage-inducing clips. And I have to remember, that that's what it is doing, because if not, I'm like, all I see in my algorithm is women just openly hating men, and I'm like, oh my God, like it is rough out there, you know. And I'm sure it's the opposite for women. They probably in their algorithm just get bombarded with stuff that makes them hate men. And then the unfortunate part with the algorithm is, and our brains, is things that make us mad make us watch longer. And that's all the algorithm cares about. That's all it cares about is watch time. Because the longer you watch, the more ads you see, the more money, you know, the platform makes. So they don't give a shit if it's making you upset or not. And so I've had to like really try like my hardest to be like, okay, this is not reality. Or it is reality, but like our brains are not meant to be like plugged in to the world. Our brains are only meant to know and give a shit about like 25 to 30 people. You know what I mean? So this bombarding of just like scrolling and just seeing people that as a man, it's like constantly scrolling through and it's like every other video is somebody hating me, you know? And I'm like, I didn't do anything, you know? And then it's hard not to be like, well, fuck you. So I encourage everybody, no matter what it is, whether it's like relationship stuff, whether it's politics stuff, if your algorithm is pissing you off and it's upsetting you, just know that that's the purpose of it and just try to take it with a grain of salt, I guess, you know? Yeah, the algorithm wants us to keep us engaged. Yep, absolutely. And boy, it is really doing a number on society, you know, globally. Like it's not doing good things for any of us. That's good. So you said I can tell that the majority of women do not agree with the man-hating content. Yeah, I know. And it makes like, so here's the double-edged sword. That content upsets me, but I also use the content to like make videos on. So it's hard for me to like reset my algorithm and not see that stuff because it's not that I need to see it, but it's just like part of the way this channel and everything exists. So sometimes I have to take breaks though. I have to, like my mom like sent me a text, I don't know, like last Friday or whatever, and she was like, "Hey, give me a call if you have some time." And like I was like detoxing from my phone for the weekend. So like Monday rolled around and I'm like, "Hey, I just seeing this now. I had to unplug for a while, you know?" Yeah, that's true. I could make a burner account and look at all that stuff on there and not engage with it on my actual account. Or or flip it around and that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Like, cause I know, like, I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I'll be like scrolling and I'll see something and I'm like, oh, I want to click on that. But then if I click on it, I'm going to see a whole bunch of other videos about it. And I don't care that much to like mess up my algorithm. But it's even so good nowadays that like it knows when you slow down, not even like clicking in. If you just like slow down on a section, it knows like what videos, you know, got you, you know? And it's like, fuck, you got me. So, all right, I think it's time here to jump into the first topic, but I need another drink, an energy drink. So I'm gonna turn this music back up for just a second. Give me like 2 seconds, because my kitchen's right over here. All right. All right. So the first topic here that I want to chat about, I had to abbreviate it because I can't fit like a whole sentence over here. But this concept of dreaming bigger. And I think, you know, I wrote it like for men because I'm a man and I can relate to men the most. But it's not really just men that have this problem. So, you know, hopefully it's something everybody can get something out of. So let me bring it up here and get it ready, and I'll explain how it goes. Yeah, like I don't know if the title of the video will be this because it's longer, but the concept is, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Almost like a little bit of a prompt, to talk about. So the way that it goes here when I go into this segment is I'm recording a video. So like I hit record on my software, I have an intro, I do the video, I have like a little script, of like my ideas that I want to hit and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll have to retake something if it doesn't sound right. But then at the end, once I'm done with the video, then I open chat back up. We have a conversation and we talk about the talking point. So, you'll hear me like say thanks for watching and all that stuff. So if it's confusing, it's because I record this and then I clip it and then it becomes its own standalone video on the channel. So let me take my headphones off because I don't need them. Get a couple things situated here. Like I said, I made some notes. All right, hit record. All right, here we go. When we hear the question, what would you do if you knew for a fact that you could not fail? Our minds usually jump straight to career. But in my opinion, that barely scratches the surface. That's very surface level. The real question is, what part of our lives would we finally pursue if we stopped shutting down our own dreams before they even start? Because fulfillment doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from letting ourselves imagine more than life we've settled into. So here's the problem. When we hear that question, something wakes up in us. We think bigger. We picture the life we'd build if we didn't instantly drown our own dreams in practicality. Not because we're scared of judgment, but because life gets busy. Responsibilities stack up. Dreaming slowly gets pushed into the background. This question isn't unrealistic. It's a reminder that we're still allowed to want meaning, not just stability. Sometimes the biggest barrier isn't failure. It's forgetting that we're allowed to dream. Let's start with who we are deep down underneath all the layers. Under the title, the responsibilities, the expectations, we strip all that away. If we knew we couldn't fail, who would we grow into? Would we speak with more conviction, carry ourselves with more intention, take our ideas seriously instead of brushing them off? Would we allow ourselves to want more than just getting through the week? This isn't about escaping reality. It's about remembering we're allowed to evolve. Identity isn't reinvention. It's uncovering the parts of ourselves we buried under routine and responsibility. So let's take a look at relationships. A lot of us spend years being the steady one, the reliable one, the problem solver, the workhorse, who keeps everything standing so nobody else has to fall apart. And along the way, our own needs slide to the bottom of the list. Our wants get delayed. Our dreams get labeled as maybe one day. If failure wasn't on the table, how would we show up differently with the people in our lives? Would we stop carrying the emotional weight for everyone else? Would we stop reshaping our lives around other people's comfort? Finally say no without guilt? Give more energy to relationships that support us and less to the ones that drain us? We don't want to abandon anyone. We just need to stop abandoning ourselves and our dreams. Purpose isn't about quitting everything and chasing a fantasy. Purpose is direction. A life that's moving towards something that matters to us. If failure didn't exist, what would we explore? What challenge would we take seriously? What skill would we learn? What passion would we stop trivializing? Every one of us has something we still want to try, and it rarely needs a perfect moment. This question isn't about creating some perfect alternate universe. It's about revealing the desires we still carry, the ones we stopped talking about, not because they were impossible, but because life got loud. It shows us what still matters. So instead of asking, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Let's ask, what would I do if I finally allowed myself to dream again? Because dreaming isn't childish. It's how we build a life worth living. In closing, we underestimate how much excitement comes back into our lives the moment we start moving towards a dream, even in tiny steps. We don't need to overhaul everything. We don't need to leap. We just need movement. Because fulfillment doesn't only come from achieving the dream, it comes from walking towards it. The journey gives us momentum. The journey gives us direction. The journey reminds us that that dream still matters. And it doesn't matter how small the step is. What matters is that it's towards something meaningful to you. When we start moving towards something that matters, our confidence shifts, our energy shifts, our entire outlook shifts. Not because we've arrived, but because we're finally on the path. Start anyway. Move anyway. Even an inch forward is enough. The journey toward your dream will bring you more fulfillment than standing still ever will. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Seth. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out immensely. And if you're still doom scrolling, check out one of these videos over here because I'm sure one of them is right up your alley. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Boom. Topic 1, done. So, chat, let's talk about it. What do we think, huh? What do you think? We dreaming? We got big dreams yet or what? I gotta catch up. I gotta catch up on chat now. There's a lot that was said. What is going on? I don't even know. I don't know what that. I have no idea what this person's talking about. I'm threatened by law and police and neighbors above me. All right. I don't know. I don't know what all that you're saying, but I have no idea what that was all about. No idea, but you know. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think of just the concept of the video? Basically, is I think as we get older, a lot of times we had lots of dreams when we were younger. Like, when I grow up, I want to do this. Not even necessarily career, because I think that's like, you know, that there's that saying. It's like, hey, like, find what you're truly passionate about and you'll never work a day in your life. Like, yeah, that is true. That's true. But looking beyond that, we don't all have the option of just working our dream job. But we should dream about more in life than just working, right? Like, if that's our only dream is what we're gonna do for work, that's a problem. We need more dreams, more things that are like hobby driven and that bring excitement to our lives that way. We need more of that. Yeah. Hobbies, like, I think here's the other thing too. Like, oftentimes people are like, hobbies are kind of like always about doing something. But in reality, like, what if your hobby was reading a certain genre of books and you were like all about these novels, and you go to like book conventions and meet other people that are into reading these books. You know, it doesn't always have to be like hang gliding or like whatever, parasailing or skydiving. It doesn't ever have to be that crazy, you know? It's just carving out that little bit out of your life and being like, this is mine. This little piece right here is mine, and this is my dream. And my dream is to own the best green bean farmer's stand in all the land, you know? Well, small steps towards that would be like growing some green beans, you know? And maybe you don't have like acres of land, but you can grow them on your porch out back or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's just, I think part of the problem is most people dream big, but then never do any of the small steps to like work their way towards the bigger version of the dream, you know? Like, yeah, you might not have acres of land to start your coffee business, but you could buy like a small roaster and start like roasting your own and selling a bag or two to friends, you know, like that alone. Even though that's not the full scope of the dream, it's still a part of the dream that gives you passion for living, you know? Yeah. Yeah, we do censor. Yeah, that's exactly. And that's why I put that that line in there. You said that we censor hobbies and passions and dreams and adults. Yes. And it's because we're so hooked on this like grind culture. And it's like, what are you doing right now? What do you mean you're not working? What are you, like, reading a book? You should be grinding. You should be getting in those hours. You should be making more money, making more money, making more money, making more money. It's like, holy shit. So yeah, like sometimes you have to keep your dreams like close to your chest. You know what I mean? Not everybody has to know about your dreams, especially if you feel like you're going to get some like flack or some feedback, you know? Yeah. So for those that can't see, she says, but I couldn't have a man who didn't have a passion that was just for its own sake. Yeah. I think I personally also could not date somebody who does not have a spark for life, you know? Like, there's just so much more to this world than just like what you do for work and paying the bills. Now, I understand that paying the bills is important. Obviously, you have to eat, you have to whatever. Like, yeah, but think bigger. Think bigger. You know, like, what are you doing with the hours that are not at work or not raising your children, etc.? That time, there is time. Everybody has time. And if you put that little bit of time every day or every week or whatever towards something you're passionate about, it's so rewarding, and you will then show up better and more energized in your other relationships and in life in general, because you're not like this freaking walking, battery that just like provides things for the world. Yeah. You're right. It's a great indicator for intelligence and curiosity and dedication. Yeah. 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 I tried golf. It is really hard. It's like really difficult, you know? So like it's not my thing, but I can appreciate someone who is good at golf because I've swung the club some and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't even get the ball to go straight. So props to you, you know? I mean, and it makes sense too. Like the surface area on the club is like this, this much. And then you're hitting the surface area on the ball, which is like super small. So any little tiny little change is going to send the ball like, way, you know? So yeah, it's like, I encourage people to have hobbies, no matter what it is. I've always had a hobby for martial arts, like my whole life since I was like 6, right? And for a long time, I ran, and I still do, but like I ran a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy as a hobby. It was my hobby. But then I was able, after like 15 years or something like that, I was then able to create it into a business. And so that's now what I do for work. So I was able to be, I don't even want to say lucky, because I made decisions to make this happen. But I was lucky enough to have my plan work out where like I can do something I'm passionate about for work, to feed myself. But the nice thing about that was it freed, so classes are in the evening. That's the other thing. I'm very protective. I could do more classes and make more money, but then I don't want to resent my passion. Like, I did this to free up time to work for myself, to say yes to things I want to do and say no to things I don't want to do. So I always have to walk this line of like, yeah, there is more money to be made, but I choose to have time. Like, time is more important to me. So then I use that extra time to do other projects like I wrote a book. This is the proof copy, so it's like gonna be on sale for the holidays. There's a couple like errors that I need to fix in it and whatever. But so I'm using that free time to do something else that I'm passionate about, and then hopefully like that makes some money and keep doing it. But it's like I had to structure it that way so that I could go from working, because I was working in physical therapy before, so I was like 9 to 5 at the clinic every day, and it did not leave time. It did not leave time to dream about things, And so when I broke away from that and I started fully doing my jiu-jitsu academy, I was like, okay, well now I have like a lot of free time. How can I use that free time and put it into other passions that will also like hopefully make me money, So yeah, absolutely. Always afraid of monetizing something I love for fear of resentment. Yeah, it is 100% a thing that I think a lot of people make the mistake of doing. And then basically like you trade like one ball and chain for a different ball and chain. It's your ball and chain, but you are the one that's attaching it to your leg, And so I've made sure to like keep my boundaries where like if people are like, can you offer a Saturday morning class? And I'm like, I could, but I don't want to be there every Saturday morning, Like that's one of the reasons why I stopped my other job. So why would I shoot myself in the foot? Like could I make a little bit of extra money from that extra class? Sure. But when I'm 80, hopefully I live that long, but like when I'm like 85 and I'm on my deathbed, do you think I'm really going to be laying there being like, I'm so glad I made that extra $10,000, I gave up all my Saturday mornings, but that 10K really made a difference in my life. No, probably not. I'm going to be like, I wish I had more time. I wish I was doing the things that I love to do, So it's you have to be right on it, or else it will go from a passion to something you resent. Absolutely. What do you like doing for hobbies? You said something about your whole family's golf nut. So you did get into golf? Wait, I swore I'd never get anyone into golf, but what do you know? I did. Yeah, so do you golf or not? Your family does, but like what's your take on it? Are you a golfer too? I have so many passions. So many passions. No, I just met a guy who turns out to be a gotcha. So he's a sports guy. Yeah. He's a golf mad nut. Yeah. You're like, I understand it. Yeah. I think it's so important to have, I don't know, like, in a way, your passions kind of keep your, keeps you young. You know what I mean? Keeps you feeling young. But like, yeah, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I fly fish. I guess I write books now. I game. I play video games, you know, like just on and on and on. I kind of bounce all over the place, you know? So it's familiar. I'm like, this is familiar. And you are anti-sport generally? Okay. Are you anti-sport like watching it on TV? You know, you're like, oh, this is boring. Because I'm not. I don't watch sports on TV. I never understood it. I mean, like, I understand the sport, but what I don't understand is like how other grown men can be so obsessed about other grown men playing a sport that they don't even play. You know, like what? And then they're like, yeah, we need to score this many points. I'm like, no, you don't need to do anything. These multi-millionaire guys, they'll handle it. Like, you just sit down. Yeah. Yeah, I like hiking. Where I live, there's quite a bit of good hiking and good fishing and hunting and stuff like that. So I love camping. I overland. I have a truck that, you know, I can do like truck camping and stuff like that. It's most of the summer and fall and spring. That's kind of what I'm doing. Yeah. Watching it. Oh man. And then the other crazy thing about sports fans, I guess, is like they will get so into the game that they'll fight other people. Like they will risk physical injury or risk going to jail simply because they don't like the other team for no real reason, because they technically don't really know any of the players in real life on the other team. It's just they're like, you know what? No, we don't like that team. Yeah, overlanding. I'm big into overlanding. Like, I have a Tacoma with the tent on the back of the truck and, you know, solar power and refrigerator and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. So soccer or football over there is like crazy, right? Like that's like everybody's all about that, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a blood sport. Yeah, I know. It's like I've seen some videos. I'm like, holy shit, people are like really, really into it. You know, um, yeah. I've just never cared that much. I'll have to find a picture of my setup and like, you know, make sure the pictures like got my license plate blurred out and stuff like that so that I can show it on stream sometime, because I've had a couple people ask me about the setup, and yeah, it's always evolving, but I have the setup pretty dialed in now, you know, like I kind of have everything I need. And in fact, like this time of year, it's cold where I am. And so I have this little diesel heater that sits outside of the truck, and I have the venting that like you would put on the back of your like dryer, like your washer and your dryer, that vents the hot air out. Well, I have the little diesel heater, and it pumps hot air through the dryer vent like up into the tent, and I have a little remote. And so like I've camped out, I don't know what it would be Celsius, but I've camped out when it was 19 degrees Fahrenheit, snow on the ground and everything, and I was hot in the tent. So It's cool. Yeah. It's fun. It started off as like when I had a car and I started to get into fly fishing more, and a lot of the okay, -7. Yeah, it is cold. Yeah. So I had a car, and a lot of the ponds and lakes that I wanted to get into to fly fish, like my car was not going to make it up in there. And so I started to look into trucks, and I happened to just look at Tacomas, and Tacomas are like they are kind of like the overlanding vehicle. And I was like, what is this? Like, this is amazing. What is this? You know? And then before you know it, sunk a lot of money into it, and been doing it ever since. So, all right, let's see. So we did this one. All right, gonna get ready to do the second topic, and then that'll be about right to then wrap up the stream after we chat about that. So, get everything all set. Take those off. Yeah, so same deal as before. I'm gonna do this segment, and then we'll chat about it afterwards. Check my phone real quick. All right. All right. Last talking point. Let's do this. A few years ago, I hit a point where I couldn't get myself to care about anything. Not my goals, not my future, not even getting out of bed some mornings. And if you've ever been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That flat, empty feeling where nothing excites you and everything feels heavier than it should. But there was a moment, nothing dramatic, nothing life-changing on the surface, just a simple realization that shifted everything for me. And I think it might be the same shift you need right now. I call it the dead battery phase. I didn't realize it at the time, but I had basically run myself into the ground. Not emotionally wrecked, just empty. Like the tank was bone dry, and no amount of pushing through was really doing anything at all. Stuff I normally cared about felt like chores, little tasks. They felt overwhelming. And the worst part was the guilt. That voice saying, why can't you just get moving again? But the truth was simple. Life had piled up. Responsibilities never stopped, and I had nothing left in the tank. The moment things started to shift wasn't some motivational breakthrough, wasn't some David Goggins or Jocko video that I watched. It was realizing that I had been waiting for motivation to show up before I made a move. But motivation doesn't come first, movement does. There was nothing wrong with me. I wasn't weak. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't broken. I just didn't have any momentum. And that momentum, even simple things felt impossible without that momentum. But once I understood that motivation follows action, not the other way around, everything started to make sense. Here's where a lot of us get stuck. We try to restart our life at 100%. 0 to perfect routine. 0 to strict discipline. 0 to full motivation. And it never works. Not because we lack willpower, but because we're demanding everything at once. Think about a dead car battery. When you jumpstart it, it doesn't instantly go back to fully charged. It gets enough of a spark to turn over. Then the alternator slowly charges it as the car runs. It's the same with us. You don't need a full charge to start. You just need enough of a spark to get moving. And then momentum will do the rest. Restarting at 100% isn't realistic. Restarting at 5% is. I have a thing I call the 2-foot rule. So if coming back at full strength isn't the goal, what actually works? Something I call the 2-foot rule. All it means is this: take the smallest step that moves your life forward by just 2 feet. Not 2 miles, not a giant leap, just 2 feet in the right direction. Because when you're drained, the goal isn't to overhaul your entire life. It's to get the engine turning again. For some guys, those 2 feet might look like clearing one small area that's been stressing you out. Like that room right over there that you can't see off camera. Taking a 10-minute walk to reset your head. Writing down one thing you need to do tomorrow. Organizing one thing that's been piling up. Handling one small task that you have been avoiding. The step doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be forward. Because once you move those 2 feet, the next 2 become easier. And before you know it, you're gaining momentum again. So in closing, when you're empty, it's easy to convince yourself something is wrong with you. That you've lost your drive, or that you've lost who you used to be. But most of the time, that's just not the case. You're not broken. You're just out of fuel. And fuel comes back through movement, not through waiting. You can't wait for that perfect time. Got to get going. Even 2 feet forward brings a little energy, a little confidence, and a little clarity. You don't need to rebuild everything right now. You don't need to be perfect. You just need direction in your life again. Take one small step forward, handle one thing, move 2 feet forward toward the man you want to become. Because 2 feet today becomes 2 more tomorrow. And that's how we come back. Not through motivation, through movement. Proving to yourself by crossing off those small tasks that you are moving forward, that you're not stuck. You have the willpower and the motivation will come once you prove that to yourself. It's like a good feeling. It's like there's a pile of cardboard boxes because everything in Amazon comes in a box and then inside the box is another box. So my thing is cardboard piles up. I have like a fucking cardboard garden, you know, in the other room. And instead of just waiting for it to decompose, I have it on my list for tomorrow to take care of it. And I know I will feel much better about myself when I cross that task off the list, because I know it's a small task. So when I look at a small task and I don't have the energy to do it, it makes me feel like a piece of shit. So once I do it, I'm like, cool, all right, I'm not a piece of shit. I knew I could do it. That's what those small tasks and those 2 feet forward, it's just proving to yourself that you can do it. It gets you back on the track, gets that motivation going. You can do it. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Seth. If you got something out of this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out immensely. And if you're still doom scrolling, check out one of these videos right over here because I'm sure one of them is right up your alley. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. Boom. Second topic done. Bam, bam, bam. Done. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? What about you guys? You got a cardboard garden somewhere in your house? I swear to God, everything in Amazon comes like freaking so many boxes and plastic. And I'm like, it's exhausting. Is this actually live? Yes, this is actually live. Live and in the flesh. How are you doing, John? Where are you from? Any book. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you joined too. Yeah. Yeah. Quiet night. Honestly, like it kind of comes and goes. And I have 2 streams going right now. So I have I'm multi-streaming. So I'm streaming to YouTube in horizontal, like normal, like if you're on your computer, you would see that. And then if you're on your phone, this is like the vertical feed. So unfortunately, what it does is it splits my chat and my audience into 2 things. And you guys can't see what each other is saying, which is annoying. And I guess like YouTube's going to change that and make it, you know, make it into one eventually. But, you don't order from Amazon? Wow. How do you survive? How do you get by? Is it a choice just like not to do business with Amazon, or is like, can you get everything local, or you know what I mean? Like, I live in a fairly rural area, so most of the time I don't have anywhere near me that it, like I can like go and get stuff I get off Amazon. And admittedly, the fact that it gets delivered to my place and I don't have to go out and deal with crowds and people, like, you know, I tend to choose that. Yeah. I mean, if I could get it local, I would. But like local for, I'm trying to think, like, I mean, even like this microphone, right? It's not like crazy expensive or anything, but like if I was gonna get this microphone, I would have to drive probably 2 hours one way to go to maybe like a Best Buy or something that would have like a microphone. So I think I got so used to things like that happening and that being the case that I just go on Amazon. And you know, I don't typically waste a lot of money on Amazon, like buying just like stuff, but the stuff I do buy, I don't think I could get it anywhere local. So, you know, it's the unfortunate like side effect, I guess. But I like living rural, so it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Had to order bulbs for some of the bathroom lights the other day. Unavailable locally. Ordered on Amazon. Yeah. Does it take a long when you order from Amazon where you are, like, do you still get it? Like, even being rural, I will get things on Amazon like the next day or the day after. Like, I rarely have to wait very, very long, you know? Is that the same over there? Yeah. So they were like talking about putting an Amazon warehouse in the state I'm in. And for whatever reason, I think the state turned it down. I don't know. It's I don't know. But that would have made it like next day deliveries, which is crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, typically the streams last about an hour and a half. Sometimes we go 2 hours, but depends how the conversations are going and how quickly we get through the topics and everything. So I really appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. That was fun. I'm glad. I felt like that was some good topics, and the watching the Chris video was definitely fun as well. So I will be live. So I do the live stream every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you check it out. Join in. Watch me film the videos live. But then those 2 videos will be posted on the YouTube channel next week. So be sure to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it was fascinating chatting with you too. Thank you very much for stopping by and spending some of your early morning, I guess, with me. So, all right, everybody, I will see you next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.